This is Empty the Bench with Tom Albano.
Progress has been made. Whether these student athletes are actually going to get paid or not, different story. I mean, the can of worms is now opened.
Nick Morgeson. Do you remember the term load management? This man has more load management than playing actual games. This guy should not be getting hurt. And Nick Federa.
The gay agenda? What's the gay agenda? 10 o'clock, be gay. 11 o'clock, be gay. 12 o'clock, be gay. 1 o'clock, eat lunch, and then be gay.
Empty the Bench starts now.
It's like watching a monkey trying to light a match.
Well, I disappear for 1 week, and Nick decides to go off the rails when I'm not here. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Empty the Bench, episode 92. Along with Tom Albano and Nick Federa, I'm Nick Morgeson. And geez, I walk away for one episode and I'm going on a spider tap mission. What the heck did I miss?
Well, let me ask you this.
I told you not to test it like that.
Well, let me ask you this. How did you get your tongue free?
I think I used rosin and sweat.
Oh, God.
Oh, all right. But yes, it is another edition of Empty the Bench. And we've got quite a bit we got to talk about. We have our first person who's been allegedly caught with the sticky stuff.
I guess you could say it was a real sticky situation, right?
Well, your case was a very sticky situation. We've also got Damian Lillard and Scottie Pippen. So we got plenty of NBA for you. We've got some NCAA news to go off all the stuff we talked about the past couple of weeks. But we begin with well, we were going to save this for second, but in light of recent events, it has become our top story of the week. Trevor Bauer is being investigated for an alleged assault. And as of actually the past 18 hours, he has been placed on administrative leave by Major League Baseball. Now, I was going to say, Nick, because we were just discussing this, because we were discussing the story, prior to going on the air here. There seems to be a lot of people, radio show hosts included, who are confused by the term administrative leave and how different it is from suspension. So, in a suspension, you are, you can't be on the field, you can't be anywhere in sight, basically, and you do not get paid. Unless it's for the sticky stuff now, which, I don't know.
Yeah, you get fined.
We'll get to that. And also, I guess, like Nick said in the promo, I guess you get an honorary chemistry degree while you're at it.
Yeah.
But the difference, like you were saying, is administrative leave. You're off the field for 7 days, which is what they have as administrative leave. You get paid and nothing changes. When you're suspended for 7 days. You don't get paid.
Right. And also, administrative leave, I believe, can only be enacted by Major League Baseball, which they did.
I think you're right, but unless you're talking about paternity leave.
Right. Also, I'd say also with administrative leave, even though it's 7 days, it doesn't necessarily mean 7 days, because it can be 7 days, and then say Friday, they can renew for another 7 days, and then they can renew for another 7 days.
It's like a pitcher when they get suspended, they try to suspend them for 7 days so that they can't change the rotation so that they only miss one start or miss no start.
Yeah, so it's kind of like getting called to the principal's office. He locks you in the office and then he leaves, and you can't leave until he comes back.
Or you jump out the window like they do in the movies. But yeah.
But still, in this case, I think we're kind of getting caught up in the semantics of what administrative leave is and not why he's being placed on administrative leave.
So Trevor Bauer, for people who have been hidden under a rock, which if you are, I feel sorry for you. So Trevor Bauer, the allegations come out that apparently he was with a woman at his Pasadena residence, I think is what they said.
Yes, she actually, I think she's an Instagram model.
Yes.
And one slid into the other's DMs on Instagram and arranged. I know I'm not I'm the least qualified person to be talking about things like this, but they arranged some sort of tryst, and he was allegedly rough with her, leaving bruises. I'm reading off the report here. Sodomizing her without her consent. And he says that it was absolutely consensual. She says that it was not. Now those pictures, what they did release, those look very, very ugly.
So, no.
Can I do one thing, Tom? I'll let you say it. We got to be careful with what like Trevor Bauer says, because in alleged cases, of course, he's going to say that it was consensual.
It was expected that he would say such a thing.
Right. I was going to say that, and this is a very interesting case because, you're talking about consent, and now he is actually alleging that she wanted to be rough with him. This is one of those,
weird. This is one of those weird cases.
Like I hear it on all the different like sports radio that we're talking about it. I don't expect to hear the words sex and rough with her and everything and consent all in the same sentences and choking all in the same sentences. Now, this is not a kink shaming place. We
don't judge here on Empty the Bench. But the problem is, and I think, look, we are not really qualified to speak on issues of consent, seeing as how and what women feel is appropriate, since the three of us, last I checked, have all have penises. So that being the case,
and don't have girlfriends.
You really don't. Yeah, you really don't. It's not for us to say what a woman should or should not feel is appropriate. It's really up to them.
I need to point out one thing, which you guys both said, which if he should have kept his mouth shut after this whole alleged situation. Then he comes out and says, well, she wanted it rough. Why are you saying that?
Nick,
it always is made worse by the athlete opening his mouth.
Nick,
or his or her mouth.
You're saying that Trevor Bauer should have kept his mouth shut? No.
Wait a minute.
Trevor Bauer?
Wait a minute.
He's physically incapable of closing his mouth.
That was going to be my next point of contention, which Trevor Bauer has a reputation. Now, could this have been part of the downfall, that he has a reputation of certain points that maybe people are saying, well, he's already an asshole to begin with. Maybe we do believe that he could have done this.
I mean, the fact that not a lot of us are surprised that Trevor Bauer has been investigated for this sort of thing. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, because Trevor Bauer, and I'm trying to think of a way to say this that is a little bit more genteel than what I have in my head. Trevor Bauer's not the nicest guy in the league. I'll put it that way.
Gee, you think?
And it's, look, I don't want to judge because I don't know the guy.
Like Nick, I might have a way to say it. His attitude shouldn't be applied to this case, because you can be a jerk, but you can be innocent in this, but it doesn't help his case.
It does. It absolutely does not help his case. You're absolutely right.
I think you're talking about attitude and ego, but at the same time, This is not the first incident that Major League Baseball has had to deal with this year.
And this is not the first incident that they are completely on the edge of completely screwing this one up.
If we go back, sorry, go ahead.
No, because I was going to say. So, I mean, I have the photo. This is from the post, so the face is actually blacked out. Yes. So I don't know. Should we?
I would hold off.
Yeah. Okay.
But what I was going to say is Marcell Ozuna earlier this year, there were pictures that came out in front of his house in Atlanta, where he
handcuffs.
In handcuffs.
I'm in handcuffs.
And he's probably going away and doing time, probably.
Assuming
and that's the thing.
They don't screw this investigation up.
But I'm just saying, that's the thing about, we can talk about consent, we can talk about what she wanted, what he says, what she says, and this is like what I told you, Nick, before we started, before we got on live here, judging from the picture, which is why I was asking about it, and we bring up the Ozuna thing. If this was, a 911 call, say the night of the incident, and police saw that, Trevor Bauer would be in handcuffs and would be.
Trevor Bauer would have been led away in handcuffs.
He is very lucky. He should be counting his lucky stars. He's on administrative leave.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And I'm not disagreeing. Like I said, in any sexual assault or sexual abuse situation, if you call, even if the person didn't do anything, you're going in handcuffs.
Police have to act. If there's an allegation, police have to act on it.
Right. So the problem is, and I'm talking about everybody, not just specific stations or media. The point I was trying to make to Tom was that people shouldn't jump the gun until the actual evidence is shown publicly. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Are we getting to that point where you think it will be shown publicly?
Yes, eventually. It's going to go to court. I think it's going to go to court. They have no choice.
But Nick, if that is the case, then Trevor Bauer should not be on the field.
If that is the case, then he needs to be off the field until this is resolved.
Oh, let me ask you something. Like a lot of media has been saying, if you're alleged, does that mean that you should be taken off the field as an athlete, or does it have to wait until where they say, "Oh, well, we have enough evidence. Now we take you off the field."
Well, clear.
The way that all four North American sports leagues deal with this is very different.
Yes.
So it's very. I mean, the MLB has never really had to deal with anything like this before. Maybe Aroldis Chapman back in 2014.
Jose
Reyes. Maybe it's kind of a different situation in this case.
I was gonna say I think so because again, like I told you guys before, something has happened, because we have the photos, we have MLB acting on this, and the fact of the matter is, this is a consent issue and not a did this happen, yes or no.
Yes, it's not a question of yes or no. It's a question of, well, it shouldn't be a question of whether it's right and wrong, because clearly the evidence sees that this is wrong, very morally wrong. And if you're debating that, I mean, what the hell?
But again, no, Nick. What I was saying is, this is more of the issue of.
No, I'm not saying you personally. I'm not.
No, I'm saying this is an issue of did she want to be rough? But this is not a case of like Deshaun Watson where we have these women coming forward and it's yes or no.
They're clearly saying no.
Well, Nick, I want to piggyback off the point of the professional leagues, and I said this to Tom earlier, and I'll say it to you now. If Major League Baseball stepped in as fast as they did, they obviously knew something that the public didn't know. I would
reckon so.
Because
I would hope that they're not holding it back for very long.
Major League Baseball,
it has to be pretty bad if that's the case.
Major League Baseball in the past, what have we seen them do in most problematic cases? They sweep it under the rug and they don't do anything. Obviously,
hear no evil, speak no evil.
Obviously, they must know something, because if they had to step in, because like Tom said, and I'll agree with you, the Dodgers were not going to do a damn thing
because
to take him off the field.
The Dodgers cannot play the Babe in the Woods routine. They cannot play innocent in this.
Yeah, but
especially considering if you knew about it and didn't do anything.
Yeah, but I don't know if you could, again, like the Texans.
What I was saying was that it's just a matter of the Dodgers waited. They waited until MLB did something.
Yeah, but I don't think it's fair, like with the Texans. Like the Texans were not directly involved with what he was doing behind the scenes. I don't think it's 100% fair to put major blame on the Dodgers. It's not.
But it was. I think it was expected that they would wait. I mean, this is not a surprise to know that they would have sat on this until.
I was going to say because this is their big free agent acquisition.
They're big free agent. They're not going to do anything to.
Do you think?
Because really, no, like I keep saying, nobody really gives a care about women. So you know what? They're not going to chop off the head of the golden goose.
No, but I think it's also a matter of like when if Ray Rice was still on the field in 2014, we would be blasting the NFL. We even blasted, not us individually because we weren't around as a podcast like that, but like I'm saying, like the media, the fans blasted the NFL and Ray Rice when he was given 2 games, let alone the fact that he'd be on the field again.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't they try to change it from 2 to 10 and then it got appealed?
They did, and then it got appealed. And then
so the question I had was, is it fair to blame the actual teams for something that players are doing behind the scenes in their private, what's considered the private part of their life?
Considering the amount of knowledge that you have to have about everybody's proclivities, and considering that people are doing this on Instagram, you damn well better be aware of this.
Here's my answer to you, Nick. No, but they have to act within the best interest of.
Yes, you have to act within the best interests of
the investigation, the victim.
and not trying to railroad it at any point, but actively sabotaging the investigation or actively sitting on evidence that they need. That's a bad look.
Well, again, I don't know if you can say that either because you don't know what the Dodgers were sitting on. But at the same time, all I was saying is, remember, these guys are adults. Like, so I understand, like, they're under contract and they do what they have to do with the team, but technically they're allowed to have lives also. So
again, and that's why I'm saying no, they're not responsible, but they have to act within the best interest of the team, its image. Like I said, the investigation, they have to act, responsibly. And the responsible thing should have been, okay, Trevor, you're being investigated for this. We're gonna.
He had already made a start. He'd pitched once.
I don't think he was supposed to pitch till Sunday.
He wasn't supposed to pitch until tomorrow. Yeah.
So,
but he's going to be
the one.
He won't be.
The one case I want to go back to, and when we were in the master's class together, we talked about this, the Jose Fernandez situation, where he was on the boat, he did drugs, he did whatever. And remember, we had a whole argument, debate, discussion, especially me. You remember I got into it with somebody in the class about whether they shouldn't be doing anything on the side while they're playing in their season under contract. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And I said, when you're in season and you're under contract, they should technically have the right to tell you can't do stuff when you're playing during the season.
Because it's situations like this that they're actively trying to avoid.
And I say, I know this is kind of extra to this, but it's something that I saw was being talked about, in sports media. Really, Trevor? Instagram?
I mean, yeah.
Like I guess to
wait, from the sense of what are you talking about, though?
Trevor Bauer is a Major League Baseball player. He doesn't need to be sliding into DMs or dealing with DMs.
Yeah, what are you, 17?
You're talking about the semantics of this.
I'm talking about maturity. Trevor Bauer is one of the most immature people one of the immature players in Major League Baseball.
That's a lot of athletes.
I guess he felt like he was owed it.
Nick,
He felt like he was owed it.
Guys, this is This is what typical athletes are like. Like a lot of them are like.
And this is why we have the problems that we have.
But if you're going to use social media for dating, there's dating apps. You don't need to be sliding into DMs.
Well, I guess
but it doesn't even matter where he met that woman. It's what he did after they met.
Right.
That's the problem here.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is just wait for the evidence. If he did it, then I will crucify him, like Tom said, if he did it, and the evidence comes out. But until then, it's not fair to put all this on him without the real evidence being out there.
Again, yes, I can't like you said, I can't crucify him until the evidence is out there. But my problem wasn't with the evidence and everything. My problem is how it was handled. Like this is actually a rare time where I'm going to be praising MLB and Ron Manfred.
I know.
I
was doing that too. Like Major League Baseball stepped in and like in 5 seconds and said, we got to take charge of this. Where was this years ago?
Because had he taken the mound tomorrow on the 4th of July with this hanging on their head,
there would have been a riot.
Terrible. Yeah. Absolutely awful.
And again, the Dodgers had planned for him to go on there, and well, not anymore.
Well, speaking of sticky situations, though, Tom.
All right, let's go to some fun MLB news. Fun. Well, I don't know if it's exactly fun, but ladies and gentlemen, we have
fun from an abstract perspective.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first capture of sticky stuff, allegedly.
Now, like I said in the promo, where they're like, all right, we got to take a glove. We got to FedEx it overnight. If you don't know what we're talking about Seattle pitcher Hector Santiago, who was on the mound now that they're frisking pitchers after every inning. And they seem to discover, now the weird part about it, it was in the like ovalish part of the
it's
inside.
in one of the openings.
No, but like it's not. It was like the weird part where the foam part is, or where the material is on the inside. That's not where you would usually find it.
Well, by the inside of the. I'm sorry, I'm using visually. Could kind of like around this side, right?
Like
where you would insert the hand. Where you would insert the hand into glove.
That's a new one.
Yeah, so the lip of the glove.
Right.
That's a new one. I've never heard that one before.
Hey, when you're doing crackdowns, you got to get creative with this stuff.
I mean, when you've all of a sudden become a hammer, everything becomes a nail. But
Nick, like you said earlier this week, where did Angel Hernandez earn his honorary chemistry degree?
Yeah, but that would be my next point. Where you really think that the umpires are going to get a crash course in what sticky stuff? Because I got news for you. Rosin is still legal, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm no chemist, but what happens when rosin comes into contact with sweat? It becomes quite a tacky substance, doesn't it? A sticky substance.
Yes.
Yes, it becomes a sticky substance.
So is it technically a foreign substance or not?
How are you going to train umpires to be able to make that distinction between rosin and sweat and something else?
By the way, there's no way to test it on the glove. There's no way.
If you send it over to a lab.
Now that's what shocked me, Nick, is that as Nick Morgeson was explaining, so they took the glove, they put it in a
trash bag.
It
wasn't a trash bag. It was in like they had like actual like
evidence bags.
Yeah.
Like a CSI plastic evidence bag?
Evidence bag, pretty much.
So, but my whole thing is I thought they were going to send that over to New York, and I thought they were going to inspect it, everything. No! It's just collected, and it's going to be thrown out, I guess.
So you're basically expecting to be... you're basically expecting people with microscopes to just be, I wonder what that is. I mean, you're not going to put it under a high-tech spectrometer. Run it under a black light, then see what happens.
I mean, I'm sorry. The reason I did that is because that's what this whole situation has turned into.
But if I was Seattle's manager, Scott Service, I would be.
He was pissed.
But he was arguing, but he wasn't animated arguing.
He wasn't animated arguing because part of him was laughing at it, though.
Well,
part of him was laughing at the ridiculousness of
You know why he's laughing at this? Because technically the rule is in favor of the umpires and Major League Baseball. Because if you argue, you get ejected also.
So there's really nothing he could have done.
It's like the replay rule. If you argue after replay, you get ejected.
But again, I understand you want to clean up the game, and I understand, the suspension, especially with the suspension, he's still going to get paid. But I feel like this is one of those cases where, you got to send it off somewhere and have it inspected.
Yeah, but how do you test it on the glove? You can't. It's already dry.
Not on the field, you can't. And you're not going to build any kind of apparatus in the stadium themselves where you can actually test for this stuff and have the results back in a reasonable amount of time. Reasonable amount of time in this case being like 25 minutes.
I want to know what four boneheads, and that's what I call umpires lately, boneheads, are looking at this glove and say, it's like they're filling up.
I got news for you, Nick. They don't know either. They don't know what they're looking at.
No, you know what? The example. Wait a minute. The example I was going to use is that them filling up the glove is like filling up a woman for the first time.
I wouldn't have gone that far.
That's what it seems like to me. I'm sorry. That's what all right. Let me see. Maybe I can find it. There it is.
No, it's like what I was gonna say is like they're feeling around. They're trying to test for the sticky stuff, and it's like even if it's not sticky stuff, technically, like Nick said, with the rosin and the sweat, they feel it's like, it's like the light bulb goes off.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm sure you guys missed me last week now, not for that stuff. But basically, my point was that it's like they're doing this for the first time and they don't know what they're feeling for. Like, seriously.
Well, they are not chemists.
Right.
You don't know what spider tack feels like when it's on gloves or hands. Come on.
And I thought I was laughing, last week when we had, Scherzer and Romo dropping their trousers.
Dropping their pants and getting offers from Cam Soda or whatever it's called. And by the way, good job, Cam Soda. Good business acumen, offering $100,000 to pitchers that have already made $100 million. Good move.
Hey,
you see a business opportunity, you take a business opportunity.
Hey, it's not a matter of, hey, you know what? It's a more matter of, their name is out there. It's like, because this is not the first time I admit that me, has had to deal with Cam Soda, because they're in the MMA business technically with these little fight circus things that they do.
Wait a minute, Nick. I heard you. I don't know if you said it when I was on the episode a couple weeks ago, or you said it last week, where you said like, "Oh, if we could get it sponsored by Pepsi, it would work." Well,
no, I'll go last week.
I'll go one better. If Rob Maverick could get it sponsored by Trojan, then we can really get places.
Like I said, if he could find a way to somehow monetize that, like I said last week, it's there. It's there in the back of his mind.
You made me laugh.
Turning a frown upside down.
I know, you made me laugh last week. That would be a perfect All-Star Game festivity.
Hey, cracked him up.
All right. A couple more serious baseball stories we got to mention here. So the family of Tyler Skaggs, the pitcher who died a couple of years ago while with the Angels, his family is now suing the Angels and suing two former employees for, I believe, wrongful death.
Wrongful death and the drugs. But this is another issue that you guys probably know better than I do, and I think I asked you guys about this. Statute of limitations.
The statute of limitations was about to run out, and they've elected to sue.
Because didn't this happen like almost 3 years ago now or something?
I think it
was 2. I thought it was 2019.
Okay, so
2019, yeah.
But still, wow, 2 years ago, and we're filing charges now, or for what not?
I mean, stuff like this, stuff like wrongful death, can take a
long time to process through.
They said it's going to take months, even years, to get in the courtroom. I thought I read.
So you might as well get it now while you can. But that being the case, I do think the Skaggs family is definitely
they're hurting.
They're hurt. They got a case here.
You know what the ironic part is? The ironic part of this whole situation, I read it to Tom, and I think I read it to you, Nick, as well, that after they had the ceremony for him, they now are going to treat him in a bad light to prove that they were innocent.
Because the Angels don't want to be made to look like they're committing something. They don't want to make it seem like they actually contributed to Tyler Skaggs dying.
Come on, man!
I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Because Tyler Skaggs does not. A tragedy like this does not happen with some kind of system failing him.
But wait a minute. You're using his...
Considering the Angels was the one he was a part of, I have to assume that somebody knew something and did nothing.
In the report, it said that the guys that were above, like in the PR and some of the management, one was giving him drugs.
Which is why,
and you're going to tell me that the Angels, as an organization, had nothing to do with this.
Which is why the entire team, the entire organization, is being sued, because they just want whoever it is, and if they, if this is, they're going to get whoever it is by suing the team and the two former employees.
Because you're not going to be able to get to Artie Moreno.
This goes back.
You're not going to be able to get to Artie Moreno.
No.
I hate to compare this, but this compares to Jose Fernandez all over again with drugs. You need to watch your players in season. As I break my chair,
but the Angels didn't care.
Nick,
see no evil, hear no evil.
I don't give a crap. I'm sorry.
I'm saying.
Yes, this is what they do. That's what he's saying.
I just don't understand it. And you know what? I hope that the Skaggs family wins, and I hope they win hundreds of millions of dollars. Not that it's going to matter to Major League Baseball anyway.
Not that it's going to matter to the Skaggs family. Their son is still gone.
Yeah. Would you rather have the money, or would you rather have your son back?
You know what I mean. But yeah.
All right. And another one. Jared Porter.
Another winner.
Yeah, another winner. I like that. Another winner, Jared Porter, who is now on MLB's ineligible list through at least the end of the 2022 season. So he gets the Mickey Callaway treatment as well.
So essentially, they're kicking the can down the road until the end of next season. We'll deal with you then.
What is this, Wayne's World?
They're punting it out of sight.
Wait a minute. Is this Wayne's World, what's going on in Major League Baseball right now with all these stories? I feel like I'm in a distant, fifth dimension with all these stories of, first we have ineligibilities, we have sexual assaults, we have sticky stuff.
You would almost think that this is actually a problem that they should have fixed a long time ago.
I mean, what's next? Are we going to have steroids come back in Major League Baseball, too?
Wait, you're saying MLB has a culture problem?
No!
No. Slander and calumny.
I mean, watch. Rob Manfred's going to now sue us for defamation of character.
I mean, if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and it screws up like a duck, it's Rob Manfred.
So what's Rob gonna do to us? Make us play a 7-inning doubleheader instead of a 9-game?
What are you gonna do? Huh?
Are we gonna become the Manfred men and we have to run from second base?
Look. What do you think I'm gonna do? I ain't working concessions.
I have no idea. It's one of those things where Major League Baseball needs to pull its head out of its ass and realize that maybe we're not the number one sport anymore. Maybe we've fallen past the NFL at this point.
Yes, let me file that under D for duh.
And maybe they should just, have the game for what it is instead of trying to appeal to a younger audience. That we're going to take by doing all these dumb things to lessen the time when it doesn't exactly work, and we're not getting these younger eyes anyways, and we're just pissing off the ones that we already have.
But that would just be a ridiculous notion, wouldn't it?
Major League Baseball, like Nick would say, is the fan base is basically, you kids get off my lawn.
Yeah, essentially.
But again, the problem is these rule changes, which are doing nothing. It's making these "you get off my lawn" people unhappy, and the people that they want, eyes on the game. Well, it's not getting their eyes on the game. So,
come watch the All-Star game in Colorado, kids. Oh,
hey, we can have those ridiculous jerseys.
Wait a minute, I got the perfect motto for Rob Manfred. What MLB stands for. Must leave behind.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that can work. Oh, and let's say you want to bring up the All-Star game? You really want to bring that up?
No,
no, because I got something for you. If we're gonna bring up the All-Star game,
no,
let me bring it up.
I saw them
again.
I watched the last episode.
I know you did, but I'm bringing it up anyway.
You have to look at it. You have to look at it.
Look at it.
Look at it.
God, my eyes, they burn as my chair breaks on me.
Your trying to save you.
I think my chair was trying to sink me into the ground so I didn't have to look at Rob Manfred's ugly face anymore.
All right, Nick. Let's go from crapping on MLB to crapping on the NBA.
Oh, good. Okay.
So, Damien, as we Nick and I mentioned last week, Chauncey Billups has been hired as the new head coach of the Portland Trailblazers, and well, let's say the backlash from it's been quite a show. And Damian Lillard, surprise, surprise, might request a trade out of Portland.
Tom, I know you don't like when I say this, but I'm going to say it again. Dwight Howard and Stan Van Gundy. Yes,
we could be going to those lines.
But
I mean, I'm happy with this because, I've spent the last, 3 or 4 shows when we talked about this openly tampering, trying to get Damian Lillard to go to the Knicks. So
I knew that.
I'm just going to continue to do so. So
we're missing a part of this story, though. We're missing a part of this. Do you know what came out on Chauncey Billups also?
Isn't there
an alleged rape situation came out from Chauncey Billups?
Why isn't that every story we're dealing with today?
What? Come on.
You didn't hear about that?
No, I'm saying why? Why? Rape, sexual assault, consent issues. What is today's episode?
ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to spend the next however long we have on this show just asking the question over and over again: why are men? Why are men? Why are they? Why?
Be careful. We're in that category of men, so just be careful. Not that.
I don't know. I don't know why are men.
No, and I would even cut off the are men part. Just why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Why?
But
Why?
apparently, it happened in 1997, allegedly.
and they didn't seem to care.
Well,
Jesus.
I mean,
let's face it.
I was going to say you could throw Kobe Bryant in there too. Rest in peace, obviously. But
let's face guys. But this Damian Lillard situation was bad before the Chauncey Billups hire.
Yeah,
this was already getting.
He has no love for the Blazers organization at all. I don't think anything they could have done.
I don't know if I agree with that because he had chances to. He could have left before he signed the huge contract he signed.
Was there somebody else he had in mind instead of Chauncey Billups?
He wanted Jason Kidd.
No, I didn't hear that either. I just heard that was a rumor. That was never 100%.
Okay, but still, the rumor was out there.
Still pissed off, so I'm going to assume he didn't get what he wanted.
Nobody wants Jason Kidd. Come on.
Somebody tell the Mavericks that.
Yeah, I was going to say, somebody tell
Wait a minute.
that.
Wait a minute. Jason Kidd doesn't want Jason Kidd.
Hey, you here, can you do me a favor? Can you bump into me so I spill this drink?
Oh, God.
You know what? I feel like at the end of this year, we're just going to be talking about gates at the end of the year. Just like, all right, drink gate, phone gate. I don't know. Anything that ends with gate.
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 But you know what? Chauncey Billups, hopefully I don't know what's going to happen with that situation, but I think Chauncey Billups could be a good head coach.
Could, but again, Chauncey Billups, Jason Kidd, guys, what do we say? Just because you were a great player doesn't mean
you were a great player. Does that mean you will make a good coach? Case in point, Mr. Stephen Tiberius Nash.
I'm still mad they didn't take the time out there.
Still salty there, are you?
And I still blame Kevin Durant for that last possession.
Again, this is why you don't hire ex-players.
No, wait.
You can. It's just this current crop of players.
Doc Rivers is a good head coach. He was a former player.
Doc Rivers is a good head coach, but if you want to win a couple playoff series and never make it to a championship,
okay,
Doc Rivers is your man.
Okay, no, but you need the experience. Okay, we're a win now team. We're gonna get a first-year head coach,
and that's what you want.
Hey, that's working great for the Yankees, right, Aaron?
I have. By the way, I just wanted to say one thing also because I chose something for the intro from me because obviously I wasn't on last week, and I chose the whole. What was it that I chose? The resting or what I load management.
Yeah.
The reason I chose that was because again the Clippers proved that they're horrible and they can't make it out of the second round.
Sunrise, sunset.
Playoff P is playoff Z. I mean, and Kawhi hurt again. And I love and they were talking about this throughout the whole playoffs. Why didn't they just say that he was done for the playoffs? Why did they have to say, oh, well, he's probable, or we're just ruling him out game by game?
I asked you that a couple of weeks ago. I asked that.
I mean, much in the same way that you would use a decoy when you go duck hunting?
I guess. I mean, I don't know if that's exactly the proper example, but I don't know. The Clippers are a train wreck. People are mad that the Suns made the finals, and I'm like, no, they're
the story of the postseason.
And I'm like, this is exciting basketball. I actually want to see them win the whole thing.
I actually have to ask Charles Barkley his opinion. He gave it anyway, but still.
Yeah, knuckleheads. My team made it to the playoffs. Yeah.
Years after you were already gone from the team.
Well, no, he made a finals with the Suns.
Yeah, he made one finals. He didn't win it.
He made one finals, which he did not win.
Hey, The Suns are the Suns. They haven't been that great, well, since the Steve Nash era.
All right, guys, let's and so I was gonna say, sorry, I had my head turned. Tyrone Walker was just leaving the game, and guess what? He was being checked.
Oh my goodness!
All right, you're out of the game, so now we gotta check you, even though you're not gonna throw another pitch.
All right, drop him.
Did you see in the Brewers game they had a position player pitching, and they actually checked him coming off the mound?
For what?
Because he's technically the pitcher, so they had to check him coming off the mound.
He's a position. Oh,
because it's under the rules, Nick. I'm just telling you.
This is hilarious. Like I can't even be mad or anything anymore. I'm just laughing at this.
It hurts me. Let's move on.
Okay, let's talk another NBA story. So, Scottie Pippen was on the Dan Patrick show and making some serious allegations against his former head coach, Phil Jackson.
Where did it begin with this whole story?
Basically, they were doing an interview, and Scottie was basically, bad-mouthing Phil and talking about some serious stuff.
There was a very specific moment where he suggested that Phil Jackson kept him on the bench and went to Tony Kukoc over him in certain moments because he was a racist. Now, if you listen to Dan Patrick asking him those questions, it was almost like he was trying to dissuade him from eating a really hot pepper. Are you sure you want to say that? Are you sure you want to say that? Are you sure you want to say that, Scottie? And
Scottie said, I don't have a problem with it.
He doubled down.
This was bad. Like, there were a lot of things I thought was wrong with this situation. When, first of all, Phil Jackson could be an asshole. We all agree with that.
Yes, we can agree that he is a dumb white man.
Well, I don't know if I go that far, Nick, but
a racially ignorant white man.
I will say I don't know about the race thing, but is he kind of an asshole? I mean,
I think the asshole kind of supersedes.
No, wait. I was going to say that the evidence comes in the interview that he did with, I can't remember the name of the platform now, but he did an interview about his time with the Knicks and how it didn't work with Carmelo Anthony. That's being an asshole.
I was going to say, take us from his 5 or so years with the Knicks about you weren't the best person.
Yeah, the problem was you, Phil. And can we just look? It really doesn't surprise anybody that can we just say that the 90s Dynasty Bulls were just a team of assholes? They were just a team of assholes from top to bottom, first to last, alpha to omega.
Well,
just at this point, I'm sick and tired of the passive aggressive sniping. In the first of all, Jordan says one thing on The Last Dance, Scottie says another thing on The Last Dance, then Scottie goes on Dan Patrick and then says this. And Phil Jackson says that. You know what? Just get into a steel cage match.
I was just going to say.
A WWE steel cage match with ladders and folding chairs. And you know what? Just beat the shit out of each other.
Nick, you forgot one thing.
I know you want that.
You forgot one thing, Nick. You forgot the part where Michael Jordan took it personally.
Of course he took it personally because he's a sociopath.
Wait a minute. All right, timeout. So Scottie Pippen goes on. He's talking to Dan Patrick and basically calling him a racist, which, by the way, can you be a little more respectful, show more of class?
I was going to talk about my problem during the Dan Patrick interview.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, where he snaps on Dan Patrick. Dan Patrick asked a question, and Scottie goes, "Do you speak English?" Like,
I think the problem with Scottie is Scottie will always
Dan Patrick do to you.
Wait a minute. So, and I know this might not be the most popular opinion. I'm going to hear from all the Bulls fans of the 90s who are in denial because their team hasn't been good since the 90s, that Scottie Pippen will always be a second fiddle. Always. And it was never Scottie's team. When Michael Jordan left to go play baseball for the Chicago White Sox, it still wasn't Scottie's team. It wasn't. Scottie will never be a number one.
No, I think those couple of years, where MJ was going, it was Scottie's team. But the problem was, Nick, the problem was that team lost to the guys like the Knicks and the Hawks.
Because
and
Scottie
the
can't
Heat.
lead a team. That's why. Scottie's not meant to be a number one. Scottie is a number two at all costs. And by the way...
So you're saying Scottie's like Kyrie Irving?
No, that might be an insult to Scottie Pippen, actually. But, actually, no. That might be an insult to Kyrie Irving, actually. But you know what? I was going to say that Scottie Pippen needs to get over himself because he thinks that like everyone was out to get him when he was with the Bulls. And it just does not look good. And by the way, guess which network he works for? ESPN! It seems like everyone at ESPN is grouchy. Just saying.
You think when all these layoffs are happening year after year?
No, but like, look what happened to Paul Pierce.
Hey, Paul Pierce didn't need ESPN. He's got Barstool now.
Well, he doesn't have Barstool yet, but
okay, he's going to eventually.
But I'm just saying, he's a bunch of grouchy athletes end up at ESPN and then they don't survive. Gee, I wonder why. Because they're egotistical maniacs. And Scottie Pippen, I don't know. I think all he was on there to do was promote his bourbon, which is what he's been doing on every show, for crying out loud. But Scottie, get over it. And that whole thing where he was saying that Michael Jordan was using the cameras, that was another bizarre situation. You know what I mean? Like, we were drawing up the play for Steve Kerr. No, that was Michael Jordan talking to the cameras because the NBA wanted it. Shut the F up.
All right. A couple more stories here. So the NCAA, obviously, the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about, the Supreme Court coming down against the NCAA. But now, beginning as of a couple of days ago, the NCAA student athletes are now allowed to prod off their name, their image, and their likeness. Yes, all that money coming in. So, this is what I said last week. Like this was the biggest thing that I wanted from even overpay was the name, the image, the likeness. I'm satisfied. Yes.
This is a good thing. We said that last week that this is going to lead to. I don't know if it's going to be an exact sea change for the way the NCAA conducts business, because there's still going to be a $1 billion enterprise.
Right, and Nick, I'm also still a little concerned that the Power 5 conferences, the bigger conferences, are still going to have a big edge over the smaller schools because of they'll have the bigger names and everything.
But I can compare this to one thing, which is when Major League Baseball didn't have the profit sharing and all the top teams were the ones making the money. Now with profit sharing, where the top 5 teams have to average out and pay to the other teams. Now, if you look at Major League Baseball, it used to be that the free agents only went to the top teams. Now you see free agents going to every team because now all teams have money to spend.
But Nick, the power conferences still have, the TV coverage, the more national names and stuff. So the bigger names are still kind of going to go to those bigger schools unless they see opportunity in the smaller schools.
Well, the endorsements have nothing to do with going to the schools. Obviously, if you go to a bigger school, you have a better chance of getting an endorsement. I saw that 2 sisters, I don't know what the team was, but they got an endorsement deal. I saw quite a few college basketball players get some endorsement deals, but I was looking at a tweet here from Front Office Sports, and they broke down all the different ways that these athletes can monetize. So right. I'll quickly lead through a list. Hosting camps, private lessons, merchandise, podcasts, commercials, memorabilia, which was a big issue back in the day.
Right.
Autographs, big issue back in the day. Streaming, Substack, and Patreon. That's a new one.
Oh, God.
They're invading our industry.
Shopify and Etsy. Small businesses and social media.
So let me ask you, Nick. Because I heard this question debated recently on a show. I think it might have been on one of the local stations here. But if this stuff was around when Zion Williamson was playing, do you think he would be one and done? Like, is this going to affect players who would be one and done, and that maybe these athletes stay around a little longer than the minimum time
because they can make some money? I'd like to think that they would, but again, the past is the past, so you can't really can't really tell.
I mean, I guess maybe not too much of a change because it's still, like NBA versus NCAA.
I can tell you one thing though, they should definitely give Reggie Bush his MVP back.
Oh, you mean his Heisman Trophy?
Yeah. Sorry, his Heisman Trophy.
I was going to get to that, where he came out in a massive tweet spread and started saying, well, hey, you guys just changed the rules on everybody. I want my Heisman back. And the thing I would say is, I don't know if this is really going to keep these guys here longer. It just allows them to start sooner with endorsement deals. And I think it was Johnny Manziel who tweeted also that...
Yeah, because he had a big controversy back in the day.
Well, they were saying, because they're also going to do it for the last 5 to 7 years of players that were in and out of the college system that went pro. They're saying that those guys can now license the jerseys, like the Johnny Manziel jerseys, and make money off of it. So is it a good day? Yeah, I think these guys were eating syrup sandwiches while being in college, while the schools were making hundreds of millions of dollars. And I think you said it last week, Nick. Nick Saban makes $11 million a year, and the players are making nothing.
Again, it's a question of haves and have-nots.
Right. That's another term that's been thrown around, the haves and have-nots.
The haves and have-nots. And if you're not going to do this, gets you part of the way there. It does. But more needs to be done, I think.
And I think the NCAA was going to try to file an injunction against this again. Also, I heard, of
course they're going to try, because anything they can do where they don't have to pay money, anything they can do to get out of it.
This is not money out of their pocket. This is not money out of their pocket.
But they think you work for us. You shouldn't be making pay off of something we tell you to do. So again, these are greedy bastards.
Wait a minute.
You can't ask me to untangle the logic of a greedy bastard, because a greedy bastard only thinks about greed. That's it.
You know who I really would want to talk to? I know it's never going to happen. Mark Emmert, the commissioner of the NCAA. I want to ask him, if your athletes cannot make money, should you be allowed to make money? That's what I want to know.
Well, again, let me ask you this about Mark Emmert. Because every time we talk about a commissioner, we always compare, we say, like Rob Manfred, we say, remember, Rob Manfred works for the owners. Mark Emmert, does he really call the shots, or is it the commissioners of those power conferences?
Or is it the schools? I mean, come
on. Just so you know, he makes $3 million in salary a year. $3 million in salary! Come on! You're telling me that these athletes can't make money and he's allowed to make $3 million a year? Get the F out of here!
Ta-da!
Again, I still want to know if he calls the shots, or if those, the president of the SEC and all these Big Tens and everything are they the ones who call the shots.
Well, what's his name?
Somebody get Vern Lundquist on the phone. I'm very upset right now.
No, but I'm serious. This guy's making $3 million a year.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
And he's trying to cause another injunction saying, oh, it's illegal if we're making money off signed memorabilia. Give me a break.
The only thing I was going to say about potentially them staying in school is that, again, whenever I hear, an athlete's going to stay in school, I don't go mad. I don't say, oh, they're going to hurt their draft stock. Good on them. They're going to go for the degree. Good on them.
I'm saying the TV rights also. That's another weird issue, but we don't have time.
Yeah. All right, one last thing here, guys. We got to mention this, and we got to mention this quick. The NFL has come down on the Washington football team. Well, I guess it depends on your definition of coming down. They have been fined $10 million after all the investigations into the workplace and all the culture.
So, this surprises nobody, right?
I'm going to play the saddest violin right now while we do this story. I mean, where was this, 2 years ago?
Hey, they're out of the news cycle right now, so now you can actually get away with it.
Also, $10 million, that's chunk change to Dan Snyder.
To Dan Snyder. I mean, come on.
You really want to hurt him?
Take his stadium away.
So they actually also released a statement, and the first paragraph kind of made me shake my head. I have learned a lot in the past few months about how my club operated and the kind of workplace that we had. It is now clear that the culture was not what it should be, but I did not realize the extent of the problems or my role in allowing that culture to develop and continue. I know that as the owner, I am ultimately responsible for the workplace. I have said that, and I say it again. And I'll tell you again, you are the owner. How do you not know how everything works?
I'm going to paraphrase a line from Casablanca. I am shocked that illegal gambling is going down in this illegal gambling den.
I mean,
I went down here to see an orgy, not people having sex.
oh,
I didn't think that was going to happen. If I knew that, I wouldn't have brought my 90-year-old grandmother.
I'm going to end up on the floor, not just because of my broken chair, but because of me. Oh, God. But yeah, this whole story is so ridiculous. Mr. Schneider needs to go away. Just like I don't know why I keep forgetting his name in the NBA.
Donald Sterling.
I don't know why I keep forgetting that name, but
you know what, you should. He was a terrible person.
You know what?
He had the right idea.
Daniel Snyder and oh my God, I keep forgetting that. Donald Sterling we should make a special place in hell for and put a box there, and it says fined by league for
I thought you were gonna say we need, for the TVs in hell, a sitcom. There you go, Donald and Dan.
There we go. That works too.
I'll say, if you're gonna say that this situation is laughable, I think this statement here is beyond laughable.
I don't understand. I mean, this happened 2 years ago, and we're just reacting to it now. The NFL, I think the NFL needs to work on its timelines because they don't really tell time very well.
Well, the NFL is the NFL, so they're going to.
I was also gonna say, well, I don't expect anything less from a team that's just going to call itself now the Washington Football Team for what seems like eternity now.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Empty the Bench. Make sure to follow us on our social media pages at ETB Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can see our personal Twitter accounts scrolling across the bottom of the screen right there. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to give us a follow and all that good jazz. And everybody, enjoy your 4th of July weekend.
Enjoy the 4th of July.
And hopefully no fireworks between now and then.
Please be safe. Please enjoy it with the one you love because it's been a long year and we all deserve it.
Definitely so. All right, that's going to do it for this edition. Once again, of Empty the Bench, for Nick Morgeson and Nick Videra, I am Tom Albano, and I'm going to bid you all again farewell, and once again, happy 4th of July.
Good night, everybody!
Good night.